Hi, I'm Laura Coleman, president of Bay College, and I want to say thank you for coming and looking at our video about Bay College. Thank you for considering us as a place to come and get a great quality education. Let me just tell you that you got a great group of people who work here who want you to be successful and will work very, very hard with you to be successful. And we have beautiful facilities that you will really enjoy being a part of, and finding places where you'll be able to sit and study and interact with your friends and with the faculty and staff who work here. So thanks for being here, and we look forward to seeing you.
Hello, and welcome to Bay College. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to give this tour to you in person. However, these are strange times in our world. So we're gonna go on a tour of campus, of the main campus in Escanaba. I'm going to show you lots of amazing things. You will see that there are hardly any students here because we're closed down for the most part right now. You're going to see some signs that normally wouldn't be up. Normally we would have a lot more displays and activity and exciting things happening on campus. It's just not a great time for that. So I'm sorry that this is the way you're going to see our campus. Normally we're buzzing and happy and warm and friendly, and no signs saying please don't go here kind of thing. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Bay College. Bay College, the best thing about us is that we're a community college. What that means for us is that being a community college informs every single thing that we do here at Bay. It informs how we talk to our students, how we engage with them, how we advise our students, how we create activities to build things for them. We want you as a student to feel comfortable and welcome and get the best possible education that you can get. We're really good at that. But most importantly is that we care. And that's the mission of a community college, is to make sure we serve all students, traditional and non-traditional. No matter what kind of GPA you've had or what activities you've been involved in, you are welcome at Bay. There is a place for you here. You belong. So let's tour campus. Right now, I am in the John and Melissa Bessie Center. This is where we have student services and the theater. We'll show some of those things. Right over here in the background is a chandelier that was done by Michelle Dupra of Revisions Design Studio. When she was a student here, she and I had this conversation. She said she started at Bay not having any idea what she might like to do as a career, but she loved art, so she took a ceramics class. In that first year, she was in her advisor's office crying because she had fallen in love with ceramics and was very worried about being a starving artist. Thankfully, she was encouraged to pursue that dream. Now she has 2 studios in Marquette County. She sells her designs to places like Target, the Museum of Modern Art, Urban Outfitters, and West Elm. So she is by no means a starving artist. She is absolutely doing amazing things as an entrepreneur. So right now we don't have a big exhibit in this space. This is one of our galleries, but we do have art that we have purchased, always on display. Now I'm going to turn this around so that I can face forward and show you the rest of campus. Okay, so here we are where we left off. Some beautiful artwork. This is our box office and student accounts office. This is the folks who create the payments that go to your email. Email is the, hi Chris, the preferred form of communication here at Bay College. Hi Kathy. Hi. This is our student services desk. All right, this hallway is our student services hallway. So there's my office, admissions, financial aid, advising, records and registration, vice president of student services, athletic co-advising, and over on this side we have the director of student life, Dave Lohr. He's definitely got the most fun office on campus. All right, so we're gonna walk this direction. We're gonna head towards the theater. So here you can see our beautiful courtyard, covered in snow right now, but usually that's a beautiful place to sit. The umbrellas actually collect solar power so that you can plug in your devices. Use your devices out there. We also have some places that art in progress and some places for you to hook up a hammock if you so choose. So bring your hammock to campus. This is the John and Melissa Bessie Theater. So this space seats around 300 people. It's absolutely beautiful and updated. We do a lot of different events in here. We have our campus activity board, which is a student group who creates or decides on what kind of events we have in terms of comedians and concerts and throwback movies, everything from Harry Potter to Wonder Woman to Spaceballs. So lots of different throwback options. We have guest lectures, and we try to get some Holocaust survivors in here. This is also where our orientation on main campus takes place. There's some great opportunity here to work in visual arts, so audio and lighting, as well as working with our performance groups to be able to put on the plays or act in the plays, set design, things like that. So lots of great opportunity in this space. And we're continuing on outside of our theater. You'll see some artwork. Always lots of art on display at Bay College. We feel strongly that art is important to our community, to our students, just in life. So we invest a lot of time in making sure that there's a lot of art available. That's pretty cool. The wings with the books. Okay, so over here we have our library. It's a beautiful space. Right now the library is closed due to governor's orders. So normally you would see a lot of students in here, a lot of activity. These are some really great study rooms for groups or individual students. Some wonderful natural light space for you to study over here. All of the things that you would hope a library would have in terms of periodicals and books, but also some things that are unexpected. We do have a 1,500 volume vinyl record album collection, so that's really exciting. Some headphones and some record players for you to use with those. We have a childcare or kids nook over there. We have a seed library. So if you are into gardening, you can come get your tomato seeds here or anything else. Let's see. And really a special little place in here is our lovingly named Nerd Nook. So we're going to pass some boxes. Oh, some record albums. This is our Nerd Nook. We love this space. These great retro chairs, excuse my stuttering there, great retro chairs you can hang out in. They twist and swivel and rock back. And then we have the TV up there, so you can plug in your gaming system or watch a movie. We have lots of new release movies here in the library. So some good options just to relax. College isn't always about studying. It's about socializing and making connections and becoming more of who you are. During finals, sometimes we have pet therapy on campus as well. At one point we had a mini horse. I have no idea how that happened, but there you have it. All right, next up is our Student Success Center. Hey, hi Heidi.
Hi Jess.
How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. You want to tell me about Student Success Center?
Sure. Hi everybody, I am Heidi and I work in the Student Success Center, which you're about to enter now. It is a great place to call home while you're here and to spend your time in between classes relaxing or doing homework. And then when you need resources or assistance, we have everything you might need here. And everyone needs it at some point, so it's a great place to hang out, and then when you need it, you've got all these things available to you.
Great. Heidi, why would somebody stop at this desk?
Well, really any reason, especially though if they are interested in any of the services that are located in this spot, and especially tutoring, support for any of your courses, online learning support, or TRIO, and accommodations. Those are our big ones here.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Heidi.
Thanks, Jess.
All right, we're gonna go see the space. Lots of different seating spaces for students so that you can feel comfortable while you're here in the space that works for you. These are our online learning offices and some space for students to get some work done. Lots of computers available to you here at Bay College so that you can get your work done where you need it. Tons of free printing as well. Now, this barricade, this is not normally here. Normally this is open and beautiful space. However, because of our current circumstances with COVID-19, we have closed this off. So when you're here in the fall, we should be good to go, and you now have access to all this beautiful space that our students normally have. So here we go, more soft seating. You guys, I just have to point out, whiteboard tables. Isn't that awesome? So these tables are used by our students to do tutoring or work on. So it's a whiteboard table. You don't have to use paper. You just get to use the table itself to write on, which is super fun. Okay, so offices right over here. We have our hospitality space. So this is what I like to refer to as a teacher's lounge for students. So you have the refrigerator to put your lunch in. You have coffee always brewing. You have a lot of free food, usually is hanging out here. Toaster oven, microwave, some candy dispensers. We do some fun things like chili cook-offs and bake-offs in here from our food pantry. Over here we have more soft seating. Some of your lectures could be actually videoed so that you can watch them again later, which is a great option. Some high top seating. Booths, these are really popular with students. In this direction, we have a lot of space meant specifically for accommodations for our students. So if you have any need for accommodation, whether that is physical or learning needs, we have the testing spaces that are individual so that you can have some extra time if that's part of your accommodation. We have natural light testing spaces. We have some computers set aside specifically for students with special programs put on them. We have the director of accommodation. And then over here we have TRIO. So TRIO is a federally grant-funded program by which students who need an accommodation or have any kind of Pell Grant opportunity or are a first-generation student in college, which means that neither of your parents have a bachelor's degree, have access to the TRIO program. You do apply for that, but it's a really great program, wraparound service. I like to call it kind of mom and dad on campus, but they kind of offer everything from, hi Ymca, from doing career portfolios and some life coaching, but not a dating service. That's what we like to say. All right. You can see lots of whiteboards as we walk around. Those ones that are mobile are meant for our students to move around as needed. Wherever they are, that's where you can bring them. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Jess.
Okay, so here we have some more seating with a whiteboard table. If we go around to the back here, almost all of these spaces are group and individual study space. So beautiful. They are reservable rooms, but you can also just come in if they are not reserved and use those spaces. Heidi's office. This is a very high-tech learning space. Kind of dark right now, but there we go. So we have Panopto video that you can create in here, making your own videos for class or projects, whatever it is that you need. The microphone so you can get some really great audio quality as well. So this is a really awesome space for students to do some great work for their classes that might require a little more technology. We do have a really fabulous nursing program here. So we have a lot of study space that is created for nursing students specifically. We do have monitors that you can move around as needed. See here, we're doing some tutoring, online tutoring. Right now, that's the only option we have. But usually you'll be able to do a lot of in-person tutoring at the time that is right for you. Over here, we have something called an Anatomage Table. Hope I say that right. What this is like a huge laptop. There are cadavers loaded into it, pictures of actual cadavers, and then you can do things like melt off the skin to be able to see musculature and ligaments, things like that. So it's a very great learning tool for anatomy and physiology students. We have open educational resources on campus. We are super proud of that. What it means is that the books for your classes are offered fully online and free. We have saved students $1 million in open educational resources in the last couple of years, and we're so excited about that. Okay, so I came back out of the Student Success Center over by the library. Now we're just walking down what we call Addison Alley. We have some really beautiful artwork, the largest collection in the world of Robert Addison work. We're very proud of that. Over here you can see the vinyl record albums. We also have seasonal affective disorder lights here at the college. Over here we have our testing center. So this is where students would come to do placement assessments for the college, or to take college tests while they're in classes here. Okay, so now we're going to walk from testing services over here. We have the YMCA. So the building that I'm looking at over there is the YMCA. All students with 6 credits or more in a semester have full access to the YMCA. It's a great opportunity for students to keep in shape. And then we're going to head into our math and science building. The math science building was the first building on our campus, but it has been extraordinarily renovated. We have our physics lab over here, our anatomy and physiology lab right here. Hello. At the end of the corridor, we have the biology lab and the greenhouse. The greenhouse is like a little jewel here. About this time of year, February, March, I want to feel like there's hope again for the spring when we get those extra little bursts of snow. So we have this really great greenhouse where you can smell the soil, see the green. It's so beautiful. We've got some plant starts. Our STEM club and our community members take care of this space. I'm not going to tell you, but I would love it if you wanted to guess what type of plant this is. I'll get a little bit closer so you can see some details. Message me back. Tell me what you think this type of plant could be. It's about 8 feet tall, 9 feet tall, and lots of cacti. Okay, if we go back to the beginning of the math and science building and we take the other direction, So lots of space for our students to socialize and study in. These really great windows are used by our students to make notes on, which we think is great. They use whiteboard markers. If you put save at the top, we don't erase that on you. We have some flexible spaces so you can move the chairs and tables around to better fit what you need. We also have lots of classrooms. I don't go into a lot of classrooms because I feel like everybody has seen classrooms, but this one is kind of cool. So we'll do a detour into this one. Here we go. So this is one of our high-tech classrooms. We are a top 10 digital community college in the nation. These spaces have some really interesting shapes of furniture on wheels so that students can move them around. And as you can see again, whiteboard tables. Okay, we're gonna head back out. Now, one really beautiful thing about Bay College is that we're going to go from building to building without going outside for most of these spaces, which is wonderful. So here we are in this great kind of tunnel above ground. Directly in front of us is the Joseph Herrmann University Center. We have lots of classrooms in this space. Again, I'll just show you briefly. Oops. Here we go. Here's a pretty traditional classroom. Our average class size is only 15 students. We think that's really important. We want to know who our students are. If they're not coming to class, we might actually text message them from class if they've missed a couple. Not to be punitive, it's not to get anyone in trouble, simply so that we know you're okay. We do care about you. Having those small class sizes means that we get to know you. It means that when you're killing it and just doing a great job in class, that we get to celebrate with you. And it also means that if you're struggling in class, because let's face it, college is not a cakewalk, then we can help you with that. And we can make sure you know the resources that are available to you. This is just one of the classrooms, the computer classrooms here on campus. We have several in this space. Hi, Colin.
Hello.
Colin is one of our student workers here in our IT department. More space over here for students to hang out, get some work done. Hey, Colin, can you tell me how many pages of free printing students get per semester?
I believe it is 250 per student. If you need more, you can always go to the student account section and pay $5 to get another 250 credits.
Is that per semester?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, okay, very good.
Actually, I want to say it's per month.
I think it's per month. I wasn't sure though. I feel like you might know more. All right, thanks, Colin.
Yep, no problem.
All right, so we're gonna head back out to the main corridor. You can see that we have these bulletin boards so students can message each other on these, do ride shares, also help students understand what is available to them. We have vending over here, $1 a pop, so that's pretty cool. And then outside here, we have this great little pad with a picnic table and a grill. During the summer we have propane to that grill so that you can come out here, grill your hot dogs, hamburgers, steak, you know, whatever it is that you want to bring to campus and grill up. At the very end of this building is our Mechatronics Robotics Lab. I'm going to do a separate video about that. And then I also want to point out that we are passing some student offices. So like Business Professionals of America have their own office here. Our business division faculty is right down here within the Joseph Herrmann University Center, or JHUC as we most likely call it. And then over here, we have Lake Superior State University's Regional Center. So if you are in one of the degree paths, which they offer a 4-year degree right on our campus, you never have to leave us. Here's some information about what they have. And you do all 4 years here at Bay College through Lake Superior State University. It's a tremendous opportunity. Okay, so here we are again at the doors to the Joseph Herrmann University Center, but instead of going back to that building, we're going to take a right and go to the Bessie Health and Allied Technology building. Again, connected by these amazing tunnels, so when it was snowing, raining, it's no problem at all. You're just going to class because you parked anywhere you want because there's no parking passes here at Bay. We all park together, students, staff, and faculty. We have tons of parking available to you. So park near your first class, go to class, stay there all day, study on campus, get your work done, and go back whenever you like. So there's no extra fees, which is awesome. I know I was really surprised when I went to college and there were fees for parking. I grew up in the UP. I wasn't prepared for that. That's a great little picnic space over there in that little dugout part during the summer. Now we're entering our Bessie Health and Allied Technology space, otherwise known as the BHAT. As we walk in here, the first program that we're going to encounter is our Allied Health Simulation Space. So this is where our nursing students, EMTs, future phlebotomists, and med techs, and clinical medical assistants will be doing a lot of learning. If you're interested in that particularly, there is a video created just for you. Over here we have our nursing offices, and then over here we have our largest lecture space. This is the only room that I think people traditionally think of when they think of college lecture space. So at Bay College, again, we don't want this many people in one class. This is specifically created so that we can have all of our nursing students in one place to talk to them, but there are no classes that have this many students. Sometimes I have walked in here to Mark LeBeau, one of our instructors for anatomy and physiology and some other science classes. He has had a Sunday bar going for his students. Another time I walked in here and he had popcorn popping for his students. So I love that. It's just an indication, as Mark said, he wanted to make sure that his students didn't feel so overwhelmed. And just a little bit of a stress relief, a little bit of ice cream, a little bit of fun. All right, so down here we have some really important spaces to show you. The first will be our Water Resource Management Lab. Sorry, there's a lot of locked doors as I go down here. Okay, closer. Okay, so there's our aquarium. So this is our Water Resource Management Laboratory. This is a really great place. It's where our students do a lot of their chemistry work. You will notice there's a lot of different types of equipment in here. That is because we want to make sure to teach our students whatever it is that they might encounter in the real world. So our water resource management, we have 2 degrees in that, 1 certificate, so 1 year, and 1 degree, an associate in science degree, associate in applied science degree. Lots of demand for these jobs, but once these students go in the field, they're going to encounter both new and old equipment depending on where they're working. So we want to make sure to give them experience with new and old equipment. They also make sure our aquarium is good and healthy. And then over on this side, we have our chemistry lab. So this is for our regular chemistry students, not necessarily water chemistry, right over here. And then as we like to teach our occupational students, right in the middle, there's places for them to make observations and notes, and also to lecture on this space, in this space. Some seating areas and vending machines. Over here, we have our Automotive Lab. All right. So here we go. This lab is always so nice and clean. I'll just kind of pan around so you can see what we're offering. We have 2 certificate degrees, Automotive Maintenance Tech and Automotive Master Tech. And we also have an Associate of Applied Science degree in Automotive Maintenance. I love this guy over here, a great piece for our students to work on. Lots of storage up above for students to work on lots of different types of equipment. Right next to that big automotive lab, we have this beautiful lecture space for our students in automotive. So they would be over here in this classroom space for lecture, and then once again, go directly into lab. Lots of equipment to work on up above as well. All right, so over here is another one of our water specific spaces. So again, just like I've mentioned that we like to teach our occupational students this way, we have the lecture space. So here's the classroom portion where they do some book learning. The instructor is here with them to help them understand all the elements. And then they go directly into lab. So just like I mentioned in the other water space, we have a lot of different equipment. We never know what our students are going to face in the type of jobs that they will have. They could be working in a mine or at the paper mill or in a cruise ship, SeaWorld, a water treatment plant. Any place that has their own water system needs our students. And as our water instructors like to say, everyone will always need water, clean water. We even have a chlorination lab right over there so that our students can get used to working with chlorine without actually any of the danger of actual chlorine. So again, a really impactful, important way for our students to learn. Very little risk, lots of reward, so that when they go out into the workforce, they know what they're dealing with. Then over here we have Computer Network Security and Systems, also known as Cybersecurity, and Geographic Information Systems down that direction, also known as GIS. So let's walk down this way and see some of our computer areas. Oops. There we go. So we're going into the network and hardware lab. Ooh, there we go. Okay. So lots of stuff in here. We have new stuff and lots of old stuff. I was talking to some business owners of some really important businesses, and they still have some very old equipment. So we have things to show our students of old technology for them to understand so that they can better understand new technology. In this space, they get to tear computers apart, put them back together, really get familiar with how to work on computers in a very functional way. In this space, our networking students have their own server room. So this is separate from the college's servers so that they can mess around on this as much as possible. Here's one of our computer-specific classrooms. Okay, to orient you, I wanted to point at the Math Science Building, the YMCA, and then over here, we have some really great pear and apple trees. When they're in season, they're awesome. So we're going to go ahead and past our testing center on the right. Hello. Our library is on the right, Student Success Center, but we're going to go forward. Some more parking out there. Also out that direction, we have 2 soccer fields, as well as some walking trails and a labyrinth, like a plinth on the ground with a design carved into it for meditative purposes. Oh, here's one of our satellites over here. Okay, so we're going to walk into the Katherine Boniface building. This building holds a lot of different faculty members. We have been passing faculty offices as we go. I just haven't been pointing them out. Classrooms and faculty space. This is a wonderful hallway of faculty members. Sorry, you can hear my squeaky shoes. Right over here, we have our second gallery, the Hartwig Gallery. Normally I would not have to key into this, but since we're close down, just as the other gallery, the art in here is always changing. So we have fresh things for students and community members to see. And then down this direction is what I like to refer to as our art wing. We have Pottery Studio right over here. Ceramics, maybe I should say. Oh. Okay. We have a t-shirt press over in the corner. Multimedia arts. And back here are the kilns. Okay, coming out of the ceramic studio, we have some art, classroom, and then one of my favorite classrooms is right down here. This is our studio. So beautiful, so much natural light. You can tell that this space was set up for some still life work. I love this. I can just imagine that in the nicer months, our students can go outside and do their art right outside the store. Just a really wonderful feeling space for our student artists. Here's our courtyard again. That is a piece of art in progress. Over there are our apartments. So I'm going to zoom in a bit. There's our apartments. We have about 100 students living on campus. They are mostly 4-person apartments, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and then the downstairs living area, kitchen, and living space. Hey, there's a nice white van in my way. And then at the side of the building over here are our post office or postal service post-up boxes, mailboxes over here, as well as laundry. But we're gonna walk back in to the student center. Okay, so normally this area would be pretty buzzing with students. This is our Cafe Bay right over here. They do short order grill cooking. They have amazing soup, great pizza, burgers, a fantastic salad bar. And then over here is the space where our students hang out for lunch, socialization. They could study here. There's some pool tables here at the back. Those are very well used. And then over here, we have space where some of our students love to sit and play games. So there's a gaming space here for them. That's super awesome. Then we're gonna go over to the other side. We have some really important pieces of campus over here. Services for our students. We really believe that while education is the reason you're here, and that's very, very important, it is equally as important for us to realize that our students are whole people. They aren't just people going to class to get their education. They have life outside of that. So we want to recognize that by by serving our students in other ways. So forgive that this is very dark. This is our career closet. It's called Career Closet because this was meant to serve as a place for students to come to get career wear. Obviously we have scrubs here, we have shirts and ties. So if our students have an interview or any other life circumstance where they just need clothes, truly, or there's no circumstance at all, they just need some clothes, they can come to this space and get gently used, donated clothing in all sizes. We do our very best to keep things current. We just want to make sure that our students have what they need in this world. And part of that obviously is clothing. Another really big part, really important, is food. So we have a food pantry on campus for our students. It is usually very well stocked with produce, as well as shelved items, kind of in the back beyond over there. We have a beautiful refrigerator and freezer. When I have helped students get things out of there, there have been things like salmon, baby back ribs, steak, bags of frozen blueberries, tomatoes, and just a plethora of wonderful things for our students. This is all free. All the clothing, all the food, free to our students because they need it. They don't have to prove anything. Even things like laundry detergent down there, soap, shampoo. We have baby food in the cupboard over here that's closed. We have baby food and diapers, so things for our students to make sure they have what they need to survive and not worry so much about money. If we can help with that, we really want to do that. So really important spaces here for our students. And then beyond the food pantry and career closet is our bookstore. This is the Follette Bookstore, but it has all the things you would need as a student. Of course, Bay College apparel, textbooks, study guides, notebooks, hydro flasks, mugs, scrubs, backpacks, everything you need. Well, so there you have it. There was your tour of campus. I wish I could do this with you personally, you and your families. However, I hope this was helpful so that you could see what we have to offer here at Bay. We've got so much to give you guys. I really hope that you choose us as your place to get your education. We know that we are a great option for you. I would be thrilled to talk to you about all of the different programs that we offer. If you haven't decided yet, we even have a career exploration class, 1-credit class that happens in the fall for you to make some big decisions or try to get closer to what you might want to do in life. It's a big decision. So call me. My number is 217-4086, of course 906-217-4086, or email me at Jessica.LaMarch, LaMarch, @baycollege.edu. I would love to respond to any questions you have. Have a wonderful day.